You know, boys, I ain't played this in a long time. Wished I was in Bowling Green, sitting in my chair. One arm around my pretty little gal, the other around my dear, other around my dear. Bowling Green, oh, good old Bowling Green.
Cynthia May Carver was born in 1903 in South Central Kentucky to a sharecropping family.
When I was a little girl, my sister went and took guitar lessons. She'd have to go and get her teacher to tune her guitar. Well, I'd run it down every day when they'd go out into the tobacco patch to work in the cornfield. I'd run it down, tune it up, got to playing pretty good on it.
This is Bill Kemp, librarian, McLean County Museum of History.
I'm Michaela Harris, Director of Communications at the McLean County Museum of History.
Cynthia May Carver, who will take the stage name Cousin Emmy, was raised, she said, in a log cabin with cracks so big you could throw a cat through one and never touch its hair.
So, my father was a great violinist. I asked him one day, "Let me play with you." He said, "When you get big enough, I will." I was 7. I said, "Well, let me try it." And he did. Then, from then on out, I played with my father on all the concerts and things that he went to.
Around 1917, Henry and Molly, the parents, divorced, and Molly will take daughters May and Pearl and 4 sons to Bloomington, where there is extended family, and the children will work all sorts of odd jobs to help put food on the table. It's a really hard scrabble life here in Bloomington.
And then I got me a 5-string banjo. I haven't learned nothing else on it. Then guitars, mandolins, and French harps.
By the early 20s, she and one of her brothers, Burton, will embark on a musical career as kind of a entertaining and singing musical duo. And they will perform in Bloomington-Normal, out in the countryside, and throughout central Illinois.
I started stripping tobacco when I was 8, I reckon. Summers I chopped out corn and wormed and suckered tobacco. I reckon I always was a show-off.
Cousin Emmy is, her musical career is taking off at a time of the so-called barn dance era in radio, right? This is the golden age of radio.
Then one time, my brothers, in hog killing time, why, they saved, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but they saved the bladder and let them dry. So I went out in the barn where they had them hanging up, and I got one down and I played a tune on it. Then, from there on out, I got into show business and I got me a rubber glove.
You have an influx of poor whites during World War I seeking industrial jobs in the North. So you have a lot of people from Kentucky and Tennessee and the Carolinas settling in the North and be a willing audience for these barn dance programs. So Cynthia May Carver will attach her career to this new mass communication medium of radio.
First I hits it up on my banjo and I wow 'em. Then I do a number with the guitar and I play the French harp and sing all at the same time.
By 1943, Cousin Emmy will be headlining an early morning show on KMOX, the 50,000-watt station out of St. Louis, and Time magazine will even profile her that year in 1943, given her popularity over the airwaves.
Then somebody hollers, "Let's see her yodel," and I obliges. And then somebody hollers, "Let's see her dance," and I obliges. After that, we come to the sweetest part of our program, hymns.
Time magazine describes Cousin Emmy thusly. Cousin Emmy is a slightly faded blonde of about 30 with a voice like a locomotive whistle and a heart of gold. She has a broad, bony face, a wide mouth, lots of platinum-colored hair, immense enthusiasm, and masterly capacity for mugging.
keep that up, I'll keep picking and a-singing for you.
She had a public persona, right, which was more legend and lore, imagined than real.
I ain't got time to do no courting.
But we do know that she had been married at least twice, perhaps 3 times, with one divorce coming in the late 1940s. By the 1960s, with the Great American Folk Revival, Cousin Emmy, like many of her peers in the country music early industry, will be discovered by these younger musicians.
You know, neighbors, but you know, I was playing Disneyland, and they come as to hollering out Johnny Booker and Bowling Green, and I thought, my goodness, it's been about 20 years since I recorded that song. I said, now, they're not that old. What goes on here? So we come backstage, and they said, well, we love that music. And I said, well, boys, where in the world did you ever hear that at? They said, oh, we play it. I said, you do?
Cousin Emmy will appear in Pete Seeger's Rainbow Quest, which was a television show. She'll record an album with the New Lost City Ramblers.
Just proud, just tickled to death to have these young ones here, bless their hearts. And I think we ought to give them another hand.
July 25th, 1965, at the Newport, Rhode Island Folk Festival, Bob Dylan will so-called go electric, right, and be booed while on stage by hardcore folk fans. A seminal moment in pop culture history in the United States. But who's on stage right before Bob Dylan? None other than Cousin Emmy.
I'm going through this wide old world, I'm going through alone. I'm going through this wide old world, I ain't got no home. I ain't got no home.